talking to trainer Ben Perkins Jr., who is based in New Jersey, but takes advantage of opportunities to race all up and down the East Coast. I mean, when you make a decision to ship to another track that you're not based at, what's that process like? What things are you weighing that you finally make the decision to go?
Well, usually you try and race where you're stable because you have an advantage being there. You've trained over the track. But sometimes a race doesn't go, or you don't have the proper race. You're looking for a stake race or something, and you need to go to a different track. And basically we just try and fit the horse most closely to the race. Like when we ship, you might run a horse here that is going to be 6 or 7 to 1, or there'll be 3 or 4 horses in there tougher. But like when we ship, particularly, we try and be first, second, or third choice, or because it's a lot of expense involved, and it's a long day, and like you'd like to think you have your best advantage.
You mentioned about the expense involved. What are some of the other challenges? Horses sometimes are shipping to tracks that they've never raced over. Are there other things that you have to consider when you make the trip?
Oh, definitely. A lot of that is basically you have to know your horse. Some horses will ship good the day of the race. Others want to be there a day ahead of time. So you kind of, if you know your horse, you kind of decide. Now we have our own trailer, so we have 100% latitude in however we want to go. And then you also need to know which track you're going to and how their track is playing. Like for years, Monmouth was really fast. So to ship from Monmouth to like Belmont, you're kind of taking the worst of it, and that going from a fast track to a deeper track, it's a little tougher on horses. But now the Monmouth track has been a little deeper, and we feel we can ship to Parks, or we ship to Belmont. You pick a spot at Saratoga, and you're not at a disadvantage.
In terms of handicappers or fans looking at horses that are shipping in from out of town, do you think it's an advantage that a trainer is familiar with the whole process? For example, you and your operation have been doing it for years. Sometimes trainers ship in for the very first time, or they've never gone to a circuit, or they don't ship very often. Should that be something that handicappers consider?
Yeah, I can see where it would be, and that the person who has done it successfully and been successful, like he's probably got a little better idea of what he's going to be up against, as opposed to someone who might need to learn what horses fit where.
And when I look at past performances and I see one of your horses entered at a track I know you're not stabled at, for instance, maybe in Maryland, I usually think that horse, if he's there that day, is well met, that you have some confidence in the placement of that horse. Is that a mistake to assume that?
No, that's what we try and fit, like if you're going to go through the whole shipping process, you want to be first, second, third choice at the most, or or else you could just run where you are and be 8 or 9 to 1.
We appreciate your time. It's certainly been a winning combination for you and your stable in the past, and it's always great to talk to you about racing, Benny.
Thanks, Caton.